bigger and better, we back again. Call and text your loved ones, email and fax your friends. Let them know once again the game is over. More than a podcast, baby, we the culture. This urban art, not just canvases and studios. We the city, ATX been in movie mode. It's just time to put the shine on high. Broadcast it to the world on Rough TV Live. Hashtag F your podcast. Hashtag F your podcast for real.
Yeah. This is Cardigan Black, your podcaster's favorite podcaster, voice of the city. You're listening to hashtag FYO Podcast. We're doing it again, another episode, getting big. I'm with my boy, my G, my Cody, my homie, MC Heavyweight. What's going on, King?
See how long it took him to get all that out? Nah, we could.
It's a long day. You leave me alone.
Nah, it's definitely been a long day. I will attest to that. But this is a wonderful change of pace. So I'm a fan of this episode. So let's get to it.
Awesome, thank you. So, like he said, this is a great episode. I'm extremely excited for this episode. Today we have an amazing photojournalist, also, if I'm correct, independent filmer.
Yeah.
So, super awesome. Jana Birchum, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. It's
awesome.
Great.
Thank you so much for coming. Like I said, this is a nice, Heavy said, this is a nice change of pace for us. We normally do, musical artists and whatever, but I'm extremely interested in your work. I'm a huge fan, and I'm just glad to have you on the stage today, so thank you for coming.
And I'm really honored to be here. It's nice to be in this atmosphere.
Awesome, thank you.
So let's just kick it off, because of course we ask every person that comes on the show. So are you originally from Austin?
No, I'm originally from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Right.
My family settled in a land run.
Oh,
Totally.
aren't y'all rivals
That
technically?
means, we were really poor from where we came from, and they took a covered wagon. And
Oh, wow.
Totally.
Indeed.
That's awesome. So how'd you end up in Texas then? Because aren't you guys kind of rivals?
Yeah, no, we hate Texas. But
So
there was
y'all know
a
the
lot
beef
of
is
opportunity for filmmakers in Oklahoma.
Oh.
And so, I came here in the late 80s. It was pretty much of an economic downturn. So,
okay.
Yeah. And, Austin's had a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for artists.
Yeah.
And you are an artist.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So you've been here since the 80s?
Yeah, I've been here since the late 80s.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Has he been a photojournalist that long?
We were working as a crew in film, and we did film, and I ran film festivals.
Oh, okay.
And then, but I graduated in college from photojournalism.
Oh, so
I went back into it. That was that's really, I think, my strongest suit. So I went back into it, and I worked in the gay press. So there was a gay paper here, and I did some national stuff, and then I got in with the Chronicle, and I just started doing regular work.
So you've been with the Chronicle this whole time?
I've been with the I freelanced with the Chronicle for a long time before I joined the staff.
Okay.
Because they didn't used to have staff, and so I joined the staff in the mid 90s.
Wow, you've been
Late
with them for a while.
90s,
That's
I've been around. I know it's really embarrassing.
That's what we call OG status here. That's respected. That's not.
You've literally been in Austin as long as I've been on this earth.
Yeah.
Right.
So that respect has to be given.
Yes, absolutely. That's awesome. So, you kind of answered a bunch of questions I was going to ask you.
I'm about to say she's not 5'9".
Just asking.
No, that's good. No, that's good because it leads me to ask you about more of the stuff I want to personally ask you.
Yeah.
So it seems like journalism wasn't your first passion. Is it film or is it photography?
Well, it's always been back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It's always been back and forth. I would say I picked up a camera first and did still photography.
Right.
And then went to school and did journalism, photojournalism. But they didn't have photojournalism at the University of Oklahoma. They only had film journalism.
Oh.
So that's how I ended up in film, and my friends were all in film, and so then we started working together to make a film.
Interesting. Okay, so technically the journalist part, the photo part was really your first dream.
Yeah.
And you're getting the followers, so that's amazing.
Yeah. I'm a little stubborn. I can hang in it.
A little stubborn.
I'm hanging in it.
You've been in there. That's what's up.
So this is definitely insightful for me because, since I've been talking about since we started filming this season, the first episode I was saying I didn't have a college education or anything like that. by the next episode, I had a talk with Woody, and he was basically telling me I should get in school for journalism and media.
Absolutely.
So that's heavily been on my mind.
And you're naturally talented, so you should really think about it.
So I've been told. So what would you tell somebody like me that's actually trying to get into journalism and actually looking into the proper steps to go through and actually succeed in it? What advice would you?
Good question.
Well, I really would look at a school because there's a lot to journalism.
Really? Okay.
There's a lot of ethical concerns. There's actually, approaches like how you construct, how you talk to people, how you make your contacts, all that kind of stuff. I don't see journalism as something you just drop into, but some people do, I guess. But it depends on your field. I think music, but I'm news.
Right.
I've always been news. So I wouldn't want to do it without my education. The OU Journalism School wasn't some big fancy journalism
right.
school.
But that's good. You got the necessities, right?
Yeah, but there's definitely some base. Part of the thing that happens with me when I hear people say, the whole journalism field is crap, and I'm like, that's because nobody knows the ethics of what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Nobody knows the approaches we're supposed to have.
Wow, yes.
And if you're doing it the way we're taught to do it, people will be saying that.
Yes, I agree 100%.
You have to be balanced. You have to be fair. You have to, even the people you dislike, you have to still treat well.
I
What
agree.
I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to give everybody an equal chance.
Absolutely.
And then let them fall on their own.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I feel nowadays journalism has become a little more too partisan.
Right.
So it's like you said, if you want a certain side, you just go to a certain place. If you want another side, you go to that place. But there isn't no more Cronkite-ness, to
Right.
it. There's no more, this is it, this is the truth, and that is what it is. You make your judgment.
Well,
so.
and you have to step back from it, son. You can't. I mean, I do probably express myself more than I should, but you have to have some distance.
Yes. Oh, well, journalism, I can absolutely.
Right.
Now, so that is interesting too, because what you're saying that, but your main form is photography.
Right.
So, do you really feel like there's I guess a partisanship to that?
Oh,
can you
definitely.
do that? Really?
I was a little tiny bit famous for making really dumb pictures of George Bush.
Tell me more about that. Yeah, you can't just say that. You got to tell me more about that. Explain that.
Yes,
He was kind of easy.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Easy.
administration.
He was a local guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he came he was governor here.
Yeah.
And so, I went to all the press conferences, and a lot of my pictures of him not looking so.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of.
Well, that's really interesting though that you can even say that you were actually taking photos of the future president at the time.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's big. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, it was hard to get a flattering picture of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that hard to get a flattering picture. It wasn't that hard to get a non-flattering.
I get it. And I see you were like, yeah, let me get these.
Yeah,
'cause
well,
everyone was doing the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, yeah. I love that so much. Okay, so let's get more into the photography side of it. I want to know because your job to me, like I said, is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
It's also extremely dangerous, I think, sometimes.
It has been dangerous this last year.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
It has been dangerous both in COVID land and in demonstrations.
Yeah, I wanted to know what, especially in 2020. Can you pinpoint a certain moment that you can think of that was probably one of the more, I guess, I don't want to say, maybe not use the word dangerous, but more intense moments while you were taking those shots? Because your shots are extremely impressive and you are in the heart of it.
Yeah, I always get right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bad thing.
No,
I got sprayed with pepper spray several times.
Oh, wow, really? By APD?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They were pretty free with it.
Really? And they knew you were a journalist?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I've been around a long time.
Right, of course.
There were two things that I thought were really frightening. There was when COVID first came and everything locked down, and then we started having those anti-mask demonstrations. I went to
at the Capitol.
Yeah, there was one at the governor's mansion, and the next one was at the Capitol. And the one at the governor's mansion, I arrived slightly later than I wanted to, and I ride a scooter, and I had a second mask. I had a higher quality mask in my scooter, and I was a little late, and I just threw the cameras on and ran out. And then I'm in the middle of all these people, and I just, afterwards, I had a total panic attack.
Really?
And and then I was like,
yeah, because they had no mask on, they were
mask.
super deep, right?
Yeah, and we had 5 or 6 photojournalists in Austin get sick.
Wow, really?
Yeah, one went to the hospital, came pretty close to dying, I think, at the Austin American Statesman, and then 2 other friends of mine got really sick. So that was bad, and then I had to figure out how I was going to handle that.
Right.
And then, honestly, the demonstrations, the police just got so hostile.
Really?
And they started like
Even to the
corralling
journalists.
people. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I mean, I've been at big demonstrations.
Right.
But they started. It was just the way they were treating people. Like they corralled people. They limited what people could do. They were very aggressive. And I was there the days that they shot people.
Yeah.
With the non-lethal weapons.
Right. That was
Take your
early.
eye
That
out
was the
and all
early
that
protest.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy. One of those cops was pointing at one of those guns right at me.
Oh my
I
gosh.
never had a cop actually point a gun straight at me.
Right. And you've been doing this for
a
right.
while.
Right.
So as it went on, we were talking earlier, I think, about trauma, and what I didn't get traumatized, but what I saw was that the demonstrators were getting traumatized. After the guy got shot and killed.
Murdered, yes, absolutely.
And after
we can
that,
say that. He was murdered, yes,
yeah, he
absolutely.
was murdered, and you could see in people's eyes that they were beginning to have
Doubt,
trauma.
fear, yeah.
Yeah, and you begin to feel like everybody's wearing vests. They're wearing, gun.
Oh, okay. Bulletproof vests.
Bulletproof
Yeah,
vests.
for protection, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, on both sides.
Yo, yes. One good thing about Texas.
Everybody is, and then the Proud Boys started making these
Really?
show-ups. Yeah, they started showing up, and they were actually practicing for what they did at the Capitol. That's what I thought at the moment.
Really?
I was watching them do their maneuvers, the way they were moving the crowd, the way they were watching, the way they were behaving. And so
they were acting militant at the actual protest.
Yeah, they
Really?
started coming to the BLM protests at the end, and just they said they were guarding, and they were fully armed.
Fully armed.
Yeah.
And interesting that most of the BLM probably weren't armed.
They had a few at the end.
Okay.
They
They started to show.
Yeah, because you have to protect yourself.
Right.
Well, and they'd also had 2 rammings. One of them was by what I understood was the son of a sheriff, rammed, but he didn't actually hit anybody, and then this other guy.
And now you mean by ram, you mean...
Oh, ramming is a technique. Ramming is what they do when they drive their cars into a protest.
Oh, so that is a technique.
Yeah, well, if you look that up, you'll find that there's been like 30 incidents in the
Wow, really? And you know what's interesting? We're actually going to talk a little bit some about that in the F's Up, F's Down, so I'm glad you kind of brought that up. So that's extremely interesting. So with you telling us that, I mean, Heavy, did you have a question? Cause
I was just going to get into the next question following that. Like, I mean, we talk about the impact that, these protests have and things like that, and you being dead in the middle of it. In today's climate, do you feel like photography still has as much social impact like it did decades ago?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think that's still a moment when it tells the story. There's nothing like that. I don't know. I mean, obviously the videos of...
Right.
I actually think the videos of the insurrection on the 6th of January are more powerful because the photographs, there are good photographs, there's some really good photographs, but the video is the more powerful medium for that particular one. But I don't know about here that the photographs don't stand in people's minds because that image sticks. And if it tells you the story, then you've made, then you've got that impact going on.
There's always that phrase of pictures worth 1,000
words, right? And that's kind of why that's why that question was kind of important, because the world we live in today is so media based and content based, but it's so geared towards video.
Right, it is. But Instagram is it's a picture
right.
And all the way back when I was in school, they told me that I should get out of photography and get into video.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't agree. I really don't. I really do think that the photography has such a huge impact.
Yeah.
There's a way it goes into the brain and stays in the brain that's just so long lasting.
Absolutely, and I agree 100%. And that's kind of exactly why you're sitting here now. Like, you're saying that your art actually shows that. And again, I know you've had multiple covers on Austin Chronicle with your images, and for that exact reason, it's so compelling. So is there a specific image that you can go to right now that let's keep it, because I know you've been doing this for so long.
Right.
Let's keep it within the 2020 time span with all of that going on. Is there a specific image in your mind that you felt was like the most impactful, that would speak more for that year you can think of that you've taken?
Well,
personally.
The photo that was on the cover of the Chronicle of their names are not in my brain right now. The young woman who was the partner of the guy who got shot.
Yes, so she was a paraplegic,
yeah,
right?
she's in.
Quadriplegic.
Right,
You're absolutely right.
it's at her the event they held for him the next day or 2 days later,
So
and she's
powerful.
there, and his sister is standing behind her,
Yes.
crying. That was a really strong image. The other one was when the cops were pointing the gun at me. because-
Directly at you.
Yeah, I got quite a few shots off of that.
Terrifying.
Those two, and then there's one from COVID where I early where I went to the first testing site, and one of the nurses just, of course, totally, now it's normal, right?
Right.
She was totally bandaged
Oh,
up,
right.
and she just gave me this look like, oh my God, I can't believe
That's
what's
what
going
she
on.
gave you, that
I
desperate
don't
look.
wanna be doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
this
Yeah.
is the time we live in.
That
Yes.
is. And I want to go back to her and see how she is now.
Ooh, do an update. That's
yeah,
awesome. You
because
should
it's
do
been
that.
a year, right?
That'd be great. And again, I want to take a second to say thank you for the work you do, because I agree with you about how images impact and can make a difference and can make a change.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that the stress and the strain and the danger you put yourself in to get those images. So I think you're working for us as a whole and for the city to bring out that news. So I want to thank you personally for that.
Thanks.
So thank you for your
If I
hard
were to
work.
say that's what I was after, that
Yeah.
would be what it was, so thanks so much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know you've gained a few awards from the Chronicle,
Yeah.
from your shots. So let's just give a humble brag. How many awards have you won?
No, I haven't won that many awards.
Ain't
No,
going
I-
flex on one time, OG.
No, I haven't won very many awards. I won awards when I was in school.
Oh yeah, whatever.
I may be up for something this year, but I don't know anything.
Austin
Okay.
Chronicle, she worked for y'all. Y'all ain't gave her no.
Nah.
Yeah, I know, awards.
They-
They're all like,
They need
go
to.
out, go get some pictures.
Don't get
Your nets.
Give her a raise or something like.
A raise?
There you go. Look, we put it out there now. Hashtag FYO Podcast says you need to get Jenna a raise. Austin Chronicle. When you see this episode, you need to pay this woman. She's
Oh,
putting her life on the line.
MC Heavyweight
I'm
will
in
be
so
checking
much
in with the
trouble.
Austin.
No, you're not. We're saying it, Jenna. We're saying it. You don't. She's not saying it. Cardigan Black is saying it. If you got a problem, bring me the smoke. She don't need none of the smoke. She's hard. She works too hard. Pay this woman. But moving on from that, like we were talking a little bit about the documentary side, the film side. Are you planning on doing any films?
I
anything
have
want
to
do?
really get into it, and I haven't. I've been out just for a couple of years, and I don't have a real strong documentary idea of what I do right now. Although this whole thing of this bookends of talking to you in the beginning and talking to you in the end.
Right,
I may
yeah.
do it in a video for the last,
Yeah.
for this second one, to let people talk a little bit about what their experience has been for the last
That's
year.
a great idea.
Because, I went around, actually just around my neighborhood and talked to the guy that owns the car repair shop and the
Right.
lady that owns the panaderia, just like everybody who was still facing forward to people, what their experience was. So I'm pretty interested in what a year later,
Yeah.
how that experience has gone. for them.
Absolutely,
Cool.
definitely. I think that's a great idea.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Like shit, like people definitely need to, understand the impact of it. Like this is something that hardly any. I don't think this is that this has been experienced like at any time in the world.
Probably not on this scale.
Probably not. Not on this particular
Yeah,
scale.
not
No,
on
like
this
this
scale.
is just like the winter storm we got a couple of weeks ago. Texas has never seen anything like that. At least not for my lifetime. So a year from now we'll be seeing like how people still coping after the winter storm because there's still folks like still working through water issues and power issues.
To this day.
And
Busted
the
pipes and
thing with
things like
COVID
that.
is we had no idea how long this was going to go.
Exactly. We thought it was going to be a
I
few
thought we were shut
months.
down for
And
6 weeks.
Right.
8 weeks.
Right. Well, because no one had no guidance. No
Yeah.
one knew what was going on.
And so,
no one
you know,
cared.
right?
Yeah, there you go. No, he's right.
We're
Because
dealing
we
with
knew
an
what was going
administration
on.
that did
No
not
one
give a
cared.
damn.
You're right.
You're absolutely right. Because we had a heads up for months, and no one gave a damn until it was too late. So,
Right.
Heavy, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I want to move past all of that. I want to know, Heavy, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but besides the schooling, what would you, I guess, point a young aspiring photographer towards? Like, is it something to do for, like, because nowadays kids just want to kind of do it to become either popular, famous, or really wealthy.
Right.
Is this the field to go into?
Not if you want to be wealthy.
Right, so you really should have a passion.
Nah, yeah, you gotta do it because it's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's, I mean, it's what I have to do, so that's the way it is.
Right, you wake up every morning, you're like, I gotta be there.
Yeah,
I gotta.
yeah, if
hit
there's
that
news
thing.
and I miss it, I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm really mad. Like,
Okay.
I should have known I needed to go over there.
Right.
You know?
Right. Okay, let's lighten it up because I know we got into not dark, but we got into some more serious point. I know, like you said, you've been doing photography forever.
Right.
So, what is your most fun moment of shooting? Like, what was that like? Oh, I'm doing this. This is crazy. I can't believe it. Like,
I don't know, some of the music stuff is
Yeah.
so much
Let's talk
fun.
about that. Yeah.
So much fun. I love to see some, like, well, you know, I shoot ACL and South by Southwest and, you know, a lot of music around Austin, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, golly gee, there's just so much
I
great
bet.
music.
I know.
You know,
man.
the Black Pumas were a moment for me because
Really?
I was actually on a knee
I'm
scooter.
a fan of them too. Yeah.
I broke my foot and I was on a knee scooter.
Oh.
And I was at this festival out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And the Black Pumas were playing, and it was the last show of the night, and I'd been shooting all day long, and my, you know, cohorts in the pit were like, hey, do you know them? And I'm like, I don't know them. And they're like, yeah, go over here. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, they just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I mean, in live, like their
Yeah.
music recorded is great.
Right.
But live,
The energy is amazing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, listen. You need to put a good word in because I need them on this stage
Yeah.
because they're amazing
Yeah,
too, and they
I
are
know
Austin
any of those
homegrown.
guys.
So that
Yeah.
is amazing. That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, you know those discovery people, the people
Yeah.
you're not expecting,
Yeah.
the people that make pictures that you're just not expecting to take.
Yeah.
That's a great moment. The other really great thing is when you have some assignment you don't really know, and the person makes a photo for you. They
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
here, I got this. You're like, okay, I'm taking that.
That's awesome, man. Take what you can get. I love it. And it ends up amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. That is awesome. So I guess we can move right into F's up, F's down.
Okay.
I think I kind of explained that earlier. You know, we do current events and we vote and decide if we want to talk about it or not.
Okay.
So you ready for this?
I'm ready for
All right, Hev, you ready for this?
You even have that.
No, but I'm going to add it anyway. Alright, so starting with the first topic. This is coming from Huffington Post. We'll be a little more sophisticated for this episode.
I see.
Alright, and this actually leads into what we were talking about earlier. Oklahoma House passes bill to give immunity to drivers who hit pedestrians during a protest. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I'll talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I want to talk about it too. Now, this to me is complete slap in the face to me of free speech.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to understand how, and they do say the House is predominantly Republican. I'm not going to go there, here, or there with that, but I will say, for you to say it's okay for a person, and they say unintentionally,
Yeah.
they put that in the language.
Prove that.
The point, exactly.
Intention is extremely difficult to prove.
Exactly.
Unless they wrote it in on Facebook first, and then went out and did it, which some of them do.
Look at my face.
Right. I already know.
Yeah.
Look at my face.
I already know.
First of all, who the hell are y'all to tell folks that y'all can run over pedestrians?
Just run them over. It's okay.
Yeah, it's hard to prove intention, but bro, you know these folks are gonna take that and run with it. You know they are.
Well, it's a thing on conservative, on the right.
Yeah.
So I have on my website, or maybe on Facebook, I have a picture of a group of kids blocking the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the truck is on the far side, right? And you're looking down, and the kids are in a half circle, and the truck's on the far side.
That sounds like a coffee
And
shop. Right?
people, someone wrote on my Facebook comments, you know, I just run them down.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, well, then you'd be arrested. No, you know, it's okay. I mean, it is actually a thing.
Wow.
It's a thing.
Wow.
And, you know, yeah.
And that's
and I
crazy.
actually had this young photographer come up and ask me, you know, can you give me some advice? And I was like, watch for the intersections.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
when you cross an intersection, make sure you know who's
Wow,
where.
that's so crazy to me. And it's so sad because, again, like I said, under normal circumstances, it's illegal. If I was just walking down the street and you hit me...
Yes, they don't consider it pedestrians. And that's the thing that really freaks me out, is how you just change the terminology and all of a sudden it becomes less human.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's a demonstrator who's blocking my path of my car.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying. Okay, well, let's move past that one because
All right.
I think we said what we needed to say there. A little more inspiring. This is coming from BuzzFeed News. This is his name is Michael Reagan, and he will be the first African American male to lead the EPA. Do we want to talk about this?
I know very little about him.
Right. I mean, I would say down two, but what I will say is this: congratulations
I'll say
to the man.
congratulations.
Yes, absolutely.
I
That
would
is
definitely
wonderful.
congratulate any black man to be first in anything. I congratulate any black man, period.
Yep.
For doing
Yep.
anything.
Just do the right thing.
Congratulations on that.
Absolutely.
Just do what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Don't make a mockery out of it.
Absolutely. Just do the right thing, brother, so we ain't got to be embarrassed by you. I'm just going to leave that right there.
That's it.
So the next one is, this is coming from, where is this coming from? Boston. This is coming from Boston. Oh, okay. Okay, he already has his up. We're going to, I guess,
I talked with Woody about this.
Okay, well, I won't get to. This is Meghan Markle, and she is filing a complaint officially against Piers Morgan over his, his defamatory verbiage about her suicide ideologies, it says here. So, do we want to talk about
I
this?
can talk about it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not too big, but we can talk about it.
You know,
Yeah.
the hell with anybody who puts down somebody who's got suicidal ideation. Like, what the heck? Like,
Right.
The inhumanity thing is the thing that really bothers me
So
about
gross.
the culture right now.
So
you know?
gross.
Like, it's just, you get to just detach yourself from
Right.
other people's, like, humanity.
100%. Who are you to tell someone how they should feel?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? She's just trying to get attention. Like, bro, you have no idea the situation she's in.
Right.
Meghan Markle, get your money.
I hear that.
Piers Morgan, get a life. Because I saw the video the other day of him walking off set when his co-host was checking him about how he was talking about Meghan Markle. And I may have the story wrong, but this is just what I heard. Apparently, Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle went out on a date.
Oh, I don't know. That might be.
One.
They went out on one date. One.
And
it
she
didn't
did.
work. And I think the car that
She
came
curved
about
it.
Meghan Markle actually took her to a party where she ended up meeting Prince Harry. He has been butthurt ever
So
since.
interesting, because a lot of people are trying to use the racism narrative, but it just sounds like he was slighted relationship-wise, and he's hurt by that.
Nah,
Interesting.
He's
Well,
just butthurt
male
because
ego.
it didn't work out.
Male
Prince
ego.
Harry got it.
Male ego. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that
the
better.
male ego is
I like that
fragile,
better.
you know.
All right, cool. It's better that he ain't a racist. He's just a punk. That's cool. I like that
But
better.
it could be both, you know.
That is
I
true.
actually believe it is both.
I
It
think
could probably be
too.
both too. You
That's
right.
why-
You might be right, Jenna.
Piers Morgan, get a life.
Right.
We don't
Moving
care about you
forward.
quitting shows, bro.
Right. We'll forget about you next week. Moving forward. This one's a fun one. And we're gonna end it on a fun one.
All right.
All right. Oreo. Oh, this comes from Baller Alert. Oreo officially, they officially announced the return of the S'mores Oreo. I don't care what nobody says. I want to talk about it because I love s'mores. I'm just a s'more head. But you don't have to. I just
Even
want to
as
talk
a
about it.
fat boy, I'm not doing
I'm not.
I know. I figured that. I already kind of knew that was gonna happen.
it, bro.
I knew. I don't care.
They
Whatever.
brought back the s'mores cookie. Hooray.
Yay! Whatever. That's the kid in me.
It's
Shout
gonna-
out to
It's
Oreo.
gonna be in a grocery store near you.
Yes. Shout out to Oreo. With that said, we're done with F Up, F Down. Thank you, Jenna, for playing with us. Shout out Oreo. Anyway, what's your F for the day? Well, let's get that done, and we can get Jenna at the end of it.
You really want to start with me, huh?
Bro, you already know what's
Alright,
up.
okay,
Get it out the
let's
way.
get into it.
Get it out the
So,
way.
at the time of this taping,
I already know where this is going, but go
at the
ahead.
time of this taping, there is a order
Mandate.
that has been there's an order that has been passed down from Governor Greg Abbott, who he will be unaffectionately known as Governor Hot Wheels.
I'm so mad at you. Don't do that. But go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
But basically, I guess he's trying to cover up for the mess that they made during the winter storm for, you know, a lot of folks losing power, a lot of folks losing water.
Interesting
still
theory.
suffering that, you know, still suffering through that. So all of a sudden he makes it to where businesses, as of right now, as of this taping, will be open to 100% capacity. And the mask mandate has been lifted.
Yep.
So now everybody who has been shouting about, oh, I don't want to wear masks, I don't want to go in this place, man, they can now use the argument that Governor Greg Abbott said that we could lift our masks. I find it funny that we're doing it directly in the middle of where the pandemic is steadily getting worse. As of this count, we have lost just about over 550,000 people, and it is still growing to this day. Over 90% of Texas has not been vaccinated or has not received the money for the vaccinations that we need. So all we're doing is getting COVID tests to make sure that we don't have COVID. And then if we do get COVID, we don't know whether we're going to die or not. So the fact that you're lifting this mandate, I don't know who you're trying to appease in your party. It might be Donald Trump or whatever the fuck it may be. But you, Senator Ted Cruz, all of y'all can go piss up a river some goddamn way.
That's an F.
Nobody cares about big business. You claim to be pro-life, but you will lift this mask mandate knowing we're in the middle of a pandemic and knowing the statistics that Texas is in. Texas is in one of the worst states as far as this pandemic is concerned. So the fact that you want to put lives at danger over business, fuck you.
Hey, and that's that F for the day, and he's absolutely 100% right. If I'm correct, Texas is the second largest state with the numbers of coronavirus. So congratulations on that, guys. We are winning somewhat in that. So I guess.
I'm going to
Jenna,
build on yours.
There you
I'm
go.
going to say F. Ken Paxton.
Ooh, who's that? Tell us
Let's
more.
go.
That's the Attorney General of the state of Texas. And he just sued Austin, Texas because our city council and mayor said, we're going to keep our mask mandate, and Ken Paxton's 30.
Man, shout out Steve Adler, man.
Right.
We may not agree on a lot of things, but we agree on that. Keep your fucking mask on. Stay 6 feet away from me. Don't do that shit, because I'll knock you the fuck out.
Big facts. Y'all see the shirt I'm wearing. So I'm going to add to that. Since we're all daisy chaining.
Our daisy chain.
Yeah, I'm going to actually say a positive F. Follow Steve Adler.
Nah, for real.
Because
Steve Adler.
apparently he got the right concept. He's going against his own powers to be to say, I don't care about your political views or your power. I care about people and their safety. So
Community got you, man.
So that's
I'll tell you
an
what,
F.
6th Street's going to be a scary place.
It's already a scary
I
place.
haven't been to 6th Street in I don't know how long and don't plan on going.
It's already a scary place. So
All I know
is
is 2022.
Hey. Hey, and with that said,
Governor Hot Wheels, you out of here.
hey, make sure y'all vote. Hey, with that said, I want to do a special thank you to Jenna. Hey, please let everybody know where they can find you, find your work,
Yeah.
anything you
Everything you
promote.
find me is by my name, so it's Jana Birchum. .com. That's the website. Facebook, Jana Birchum, photo, video.
There you go.
Everything I got is up there.
There you go. That's right. She keeps one name, keep it simple. So that's what's up. Hey, I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you so much, Jenna. You've just been inspiration, so that's been wonderful. And you guys are listening to Hashtag FYO Podcast. We out of the building, man. Make sure y'all still wear y'all masks, be safe, social distance, and follow me. Oh, and also make sure you follow these wonderful artists. If you like any of the artwork, hit our lines up. We can sell this art. This is all local artists. Get with us.
Follow our sponsor, booksbyamber.com.
Absolutely. Make sure you follow her too. Get some good reading in your
Books,
life.
get your jackets, get your coffee mugs, booksbyamber.com.
Damn right. Hey, this is hashtag.
Hashtag Epic Podcast.
Thank you. Say the hashtag. Hashtag FB Podcast. We out of here, man. Thank y'all. Peace.
Thank you.
Ow!
We're done.
Thank you.
Season 2, bigger and better, we back again. Call and text your loved ones, email and fax your friends. Let them know once again the game is over. More than a podcast, baby, we the culture. This urban art, not just canvases and studios. We the city, ATX been in movie mode. It's just time to put the shine on